Hey everybody. As usual, I'm going to check, make sure everybody can hear me okay.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Uta. All right, so welcome everybody. Let me see if I can get my screen to work. I'm going to quit out of my other browser so that hopefully the streaming works a little more smoothly. Okay, so welcome. As usual, I think everyone today has practiced with me before, so you have at least some familiarity with the way that I sequence and teach. But just as a reminder, today's class is quite challenging. And so the way to approach it is really to do the best that you can. And I will say this, you do want to challenge yourself a bit. So, you know, again, it's a notice if you're really kind of comfortable in your practice. You're always kind of doing everything, and you always do the same variations, and your practice is very beautiful, and you never fall over or trip or whatever. Then you're probably being a little too careful. And at the same time, if you're always hurting yourself, you know, if you're having all kinds of body issues, problems, you know, hurting your hip, hurting your knee, hurting your ankle, hurting your shoulder, then maybe you're on the other side of that. Maybe you're trying a little too hard. Okay, so we want to find that really sweet spot. So there's gonna be plenty of times for that today. Again, we're gonna start with simple and easy, and we'll work our way up to more complex and difficult. And feel free to stay with the simpler and easier variations if that is what is serving you today. And again, some days maybe we don't have a lot of energy for whatever reason. And so you might, again, stick with simpler variations, you know, for that day. Simpler, easier things. And then, you know, maybe next week you're feeling stronger, more adventurous. Okay, so let's get started with some breathing. Just go ahead and find a seat. Let the face and shoulders soften. And before we try and change or do anything, let's just notice how things are with our breath. So some days you can feel a very sort of subtle restriction to your breathing. That's how I feel today. It's like there's a subtle tension. It's not that I can't breathe. I can breathe, but I can feel that there's a little bit of, you know, tightness, especially on that inhale. It's very subtle. I'm not wheezing. I'm not having any kind of respiratory problems. This is more of an energetic thing. And so again, we just want to notice that if the breath does not feel completely free. All right, now we'll begin to deepen our breathing with the three-part yogic breathing, Dirga. So we inhale, we fill the belly, the ribs, and then the upper chest. As we exhale, we reverse this, chest, ribs, and belly, okay? You can hear me already making the ujjayi sound, which is ocean sound by constricting the throat. And you are all familiar with the technique. But for anyone who isn't, it's just like fogging a mirror, but with your mouth closed, creating sound both on the inhale and on the exhale. This slows the breath down. It causes the lungs to work harder. This generates more internal heat, which purifies the body. The sound is also very relaxing. It sounds like the ocean. And so it helps calm us down. We listen to that sound instead of listening to our thoughts. This can really calm us down. Let's keep the breathing going, and then we'll transition into tabletop position. In tabletop, we'll begin warming up the body. So inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head down. Okay, so the cat-cow Just moving back and forth and focusing again on sensation in the body, feeling the sensations in the body as you move back and forth. Again, notice if you're sort of already in a sort of robotic mode. This is something that we do in every class that I teach. So there can be a tendency to go into sort of autopilot. Oh, it's this part of the class. Okay, this is what I do. And then our mind takes that opportunity to disconnect from reality and to start to move into the future or the past. So see if you can notice that happening at various parts of the practice that might be familiar. There's a tendency to tune out. Once you've warmed up your spine, you can tuck your toes, lift the hips, and come up and back into down dog. Again, a very familiar shape for us. We're just going to pedal out those feet, different parts of the legs. And as familiar as this might be, we again want to stay tuned in as though it's the first time we've ever done this. In Zen, this is called beginner's mind, and we always want to practice with beginner's mind. All right, let's come into our full expression of the downward dog. The hands are shoulder width, the fingers are spread wide, the palms are firmly planted on the ground. The feet are hip distance, heels reach toward the ground, and the chest actively draws toward the toes. The breath is still deep, rhythmic, and slow. And with our next exhale, we'll walk our feet toward our hands. Coming into ragdoll for a moment. Still part of our warm-up series, so we're just still exploring and feeling. And then with our next inhale, we can gradually roll up to standing. Okay, good. We'll start with standing back bend as we usually do. So inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart. Just exploring that back bend, what it has to offer us today, how much space I can create on the front of my body. Keeping those shoulders relaxed and away from the ears and keeping that face soft. Taking a few breaths here and just noticing how those breaths feel in this position. Good. We'll inhale through center and exhale into forward fold. Let's bend our knees deeply, place our belly against our thighs, walk our hands back towards our feet. Keep the neck relaxed as we begin to straighten our legs. So really stretching the back of the thighs here. Let's keep those shoulders away from the ears, which means lifting them in this position. Good. With the next inhale, we'll come to our fingertips and lengthen the spine, or you can take hands to shins if you prefer. And as we exhale, let's plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up. Okay, again, we'll check our push-up, make sure we aren't collapsing in the shoulders, dumping into our back, or inadvertently lifting up into a sort of downward dog position. Okay, so we line everything up. This is going to come back when we look at side plank later. So planks are straight. They are not curved like this, okay? All right, let's drop our knees. Take a deep breath, exhale halfway down. Elbows hug the ribs. We should be able to hold this position. Then with the next exhale, we come down, release the tops of the feet to the mat. And with our inhalation, press into the hands and the feet, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground, keeping the pelvis firmly grounded. This is Cobra. So exhale, come down, press back to tabletop, and then to downward facing dog. Let's learn another variation of Sun A. Inhaling to our toes. We exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. We inhale up to standing back bend, and then grabbing the right wrist with our left hand, we exhale and send our hips to the right as we pull our arm to the left, creating a lot of space in our right waist, avoiding collapsing on the left side or rolling that right shoulder forward. So we inhale, we come back through center, switch wrists, and then exhale as we pull ourselves over to the other side. Good. Let's inhale back through center. Exhale to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to half lift and exhale to the top of a push-up. Okay, knees up or down are your choice, but we want to keep the integrity in the shoulders. Take a deep breath. Exhale halfway down. If you can't do that with knees up, then knees go down. Inhale, straighten arms and legs for up dog. Your knees are off the ground. I have kind of baggy pants on, but hopefully you can see that. And then as we exhale, we pull straight up and back to downward dog. Both feet at the same time. Otherwise, you can create an issue in your SI joint by doing one leg at a time. Then let's go ahead and make our way to one last Sun A variation. Inhaling to the toes, we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale up to standing back bend. We begin to flow a little bit. So exhale as we pull ourselves over to the left side. Inhale center. Exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale back to center. And exhale as you sit back into an imaginary chair for Utkatasana, the awkward pose. Shoulders again can soften. Face and lips, jaw can all soften. The brow as well. The breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. And we see if we can just allow the intensity to be there. We're just witnessing energy, intensity. If we don't label it, it doesn't become pain or discomfort. It's just pure energy, raw energy. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath. As we exhale, we release into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And if you can, exhale right to the bottom of your push-up. Inhale for up dog, or you can do cobra here. And then exhale, if possible, do a push-up on your way out. Otherwise, tabletop or straight back to down dog. Okay, so again, everyone here knows the drill. But for anyone who's watching this maybe later, remember to stick with variations that you can do safely, but maybe are slightly challenging. Okay, let's bring our feet together. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Let's bend the knee, and we'll make some big circles in the air as wide as we can with the knee, doing a few in one direction and a few in the opposite direction. From there, we'll take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, lunge. Now I'm going to turn a lot today, but you're not turning. I'm just turning for the sake of the camera, okay? And then we inhale up into a warrior two, very classic standing posture. So front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges over the heel. This thigh is approaching parallel. So if you have a lot of flexibility and strength, you might go down like that. See this thigh getting close to the parallel position. The fingertips are reaching out like we're trying to touch both walls, and my gaze is over my front fingertips, okay? Good. From here, we're going to take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, cartwheel down. If you know your arm balances, you can do the Ekapada Kondyanasana on your way out, which looks like this. And then you shoot back to the bottom of your push-up. I think we learned that last week, or maybe it was the week before, but it is something we've covered before. If you only do those poses once in a while or try them once in a while, then you probably won't learn them or make much progress. If you try each time they're offered, then you'll find that you're learning. Your body is learning, changing, getting stronger, even if you never do the pose. Okay, let's do the other side. So feet touch, inhale the left leg up and back, bend the knee, and we make some big circles. I've been having some issues with my hip the last few weeks, and so I definitely feel that.
And again, that might inform the types of decisions of what poses I would do in today's class. Let's take a deep breath as we exhale, lunge. We'll inhale up into a warrior two. Again, how deep you sink into it, how intense it is, depends on what you're feeling today. Is your body feeling strong and flexible? Do you have plenty of energy? Are you maybe feeling tired and weak? Then that's going to affect what choices you make here. Of course, the breathing is always of utmost importance. And whatever you do, don't drop your arms in this pose. Keep them lifted up. Let's take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we cartwheel down to the bottom of our push-up, making our way back to down dog. As usual, I'll be skipping the push-ups because I get winded otherwise, and I can't teach. But you should try and do all the push-ups, even if they're all with your knees down, okay? All right, let's come down into tabletop, and we'll take a look at side plank. So I'm going to roll over onto my left side. It doesn't really matter which side you go onto, although my instructions will be from this side. So if I say left or right, I'm going to be referring to my body. So the left elbow is directly under the shoulder, and the shoulder is active. So collapsed, not active, and active. So it's active. This is protecting the joint. My shoulders, hips, knees, and heels are all lined up, okay? All stacked. And then I'm in a straight line, just like in Ardha Chandrasana. It's like I'm pressed between two panes of glass. Now, the more challenging variation is with the legs straight. The easier variation, we just bend the knees. Let's start with our hands on the hips, and I want to show you a common mistake in this posture, and it looks like this. Okay, again, it's called side plank, not side bow. I hope you can see I'm sort of bowing my body. If I do this, it's harder. Okay, but that's the pose. So if I can't do this with my knees up, then maybe I drop my knees. Okay, let's extend that arm up and bring our gaze to the ceiling. Maybe you can already feel the shoulder fatiguing. I can. Good. Let's exhale. We'll take it over to the other side. Again, I'm going to turn like this. That's just so I can continue facing the camera. Let's line everything up. Shoulder directly, elbow directly under the shoulder, shoulder engaged. Everything is stacked up. I can bend the knees if necessary. All right. Again, I lift up, not too high. Again, you can see I'm bowing. It's really a straight line. So if I had a line here, through my nose, face, neck, chest, groin, down to my knees. It's a straight line, not a curve. I have to draw a curve to intersect those points. That is incorrect. Let's bring the gaze up. Our top hand is like reading 12 o'clock on the clock. All right, exhale, come on down. If you have a lot of energy, you want to burn more calories, you want to sweat more, do a vinyasa on your way back. If you're feeling tired, if you're injured, if you need to modify, skip the vinyasa, go straight to downward dog. Okay, from here, let's inhale to our toes and exhale to the front edge of our mat. Inhale all the way up to standing back bend and exhale our hands to the heart. We're going to start with something very simple and we will build it up to something quite complex. We're going to start with tree pose. Okay, so we shift weight to our left foot and take our right foot either to the ankle, the calf, or the inside of the opposite thigh. We can have our hands at the heart, or we can try raising our arms up. If you're having trouble balancing, a couple of pieces of advice. One is keep your eyes on one spot, and the second is focus on a steady breath. Forget about your body. Try and put your body in position and then focus on your breathing. Good. Exhale, let's come back down. Switching sides, don't worry, it will get harder. But as always, I like to start with foundations. So as we get harder,
we can keep our mind on these foundational things. So like shoulders can relax here. Eyes should be steady. The breath should be deep, rhythmic, and slow. Good. Let's exhale, release our tree pose, and then inhale, standing back bend. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift or maybe crow pose, and you exhale to the bottom of your push-up. All right, so let's bring our feet to touch in down dog. We'll inhale the right leg up and back to three-legged dog pose. Toe, knee, and hip point down. Right hip is level with the left. Right leg and left leg are both straight, and I'm lifting my right leg as high as I can. As I exhale, I go ahead and lunge. Again, I'm going to turn just for the camera, and then I inhale up into my warrior two. As I exhale, I sink into my warrior two. And then as I inhale, I come to this position, which is stupa. It's like temple, like a Buddhist. It's not quite a temple, but it's like a Buddhist sacred object. All right. And then from there, I exhale into my goddess. So let's go ahead and drop our hands to our knees for this first goddess. And we'll work our groin, the inside of the thighs. So moving your torso around, taking your knees wide, these will help you stretch the groin out, okay? Then let's go ahead and inhale back up to stupa. And as we exhale, we'll come into goddess. Now in goddess, I want to feel the legs working and the inside of the thighs stretching. So that's what I'm looking for. Then we inhale, come back up, and we exhale a little bit further into it. And then one more time, deep breath in and exhale. Good. Now let's inhale the right heel off the ground and we exhale, sink those hips down. Maybe this leg starts to shake. That's good. That's the muscles getting stronger. Okay, good. Let's exhale that heel down. We inhale, come up to stupa, and we exhale, sink down the other side. Inhale, left heel comes up. Sink down. Again, fatiguing that left leg is mainly what's happening here as we do this. We can keep those shoulders relaxed, face relaxed, and the breath deep. Good. Let's exhale that heel down. Inhale back up, and we exhale and sink into it. Inhale, both heels come up. Exhale, both hips come down. Again, it can be quite intense, but I don't have to let that intensity overwhelm me. I can always be bigger than any emotion or any sensation. That is our nature. Good. Let's inhale back up, stupa, and we exhale to warrior two. Take a deep breath in and cartwheel down, bottom of your push-up. All right, other side. Feet touch. We inhale left leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. Again, this is usually where I like to talk about phoning it in, because I think this is a pose that's very easy to phone in. So let's really try and get that leg up, maybe higher than we've ever gotten it before, but without straining. Exhale, place it between the hands, and inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, sink into your warrior two, and then inhale up to stupa. Exhale to goddess. Let's do what we did on the other side and explore going a little further. So maybe I drop my torso down a little deeper, take my knees a little bit wider. Let's see if we can get every ounce of tension that might be living there in the groin. The Chinese call this liver gallbladder channel, okay? All right, inhale, come on up, and exhale, goddess. Good. Inhale, deep breath in, and exhale. Good. One more time. And exhale. Good. Inhale, left heel comes up, hips come down, shoulders relax, breath is deep, mind is calm and focused. Focus on sensation without resisting sensation. Good. Exhale the heel down, deep breath in, and exhale. Inhale, right heel comes up, hips come down as you exhale. Everything but that leg is soft. Soft, relaxed. Good. Exhale that heel down. Inhale, come on up. And exhale. Got it. Inhale, both heels come up. Exhale, both hips come down. Good. Inhale back up. And exhale to warrior two. Take a deep breath. Exhale, cartwheel down. Bottom of your push-up. Good work. From here, let's look at a modified side plank. I come into tabletop position, okay, and then I stack my hips and shoulders. Now, this is one way to modify side plank. It is not my preferred way, but if this is the only way you can do it, then this will have to do, won't it? Okay, the better way to modify side plank looks like this. Top foot comes in front of me, bottom leg is straight. You're using more of the muscles that you actually should be using, and you can avoid that thing of lifting your hips too high. You can bring that left leg down so that you actually have a straight line here. All right, let's go ahead and exhale to our down dog, and we'll switch sides. Or to tabletop, sorry. Okay, so the knee is down. Let's start with this variation. And again, this might be appropriate. So don't be afraid of using this if this is the right variation for you. But again, if it's kind of boring and easy, then try something a little more. Take that top leg and put it in position. And that way, depending on how much weight you put into that leg, you're using the obliques like we want to in this pose. All right, exhale to tabletop and then make your way back to the downward dog, either doing a vinyasa or coming straight back. Your choice. Okay, let's inhale to our toes. As we exhale, we make our way to the front edge of the mat. Let's inhale all the way up to standing back bend, and we will exhale our hands to the heart center. Okay, so if tree was challenging, you're going to stay with tree pose. It's through repetition that our body learns, okay? So it's not like, oh, I'm doing the same pose, it's boring. If you can't do that pose, then you need to practice it. You need to repeat it over and over again. If that was relatively easy, this time, try taking the foot, this is your right foot, your right leg, into the hip crease of the left hip, okay? So you're putting a lotus in this leg. Now that might be it, and that's fine. If you want to try something more, take your right hand, reach around, and try binding the toes with that hand, okay? And then take this arm and extend it up. So this is called Ardha Vrksasana, so the half lotus tree pose. Good. Exhale. Let's release that pose. And we'll come over to the other side. Again, don't be afraid of not being able to do it perfectly. So maybe you can get the foot here, but you cannot bind. Okay? If you can't bind, then you can just take both arms up, or you can hold this foot with your right hand, right? With the opposite hand, you can bring this arm up. That's perfectly fine. Remember, we're always trying to do the best that we can. Because when we do our best, we learn, we grow, and we're happier. When we quit, when we say, well, I can't do that, so I'm not even going to try, we don't get those benefits. Okay, we stay small, we kind of shrivel up like a grape. And we don't want to do that. We want to be big and beautiful, strong, living our best lives. Let's exhale, release, and then inhale to standing back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flip, or maybe even handstand. Making your way back to downward dog. Okay, we're in downward dog. Let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, touch that leg high up on the arm.
Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale to the nose, chin, or forehead. Inhale up and back. Exhale to the opposite arm. Good. Inhale up and back. Exhale and lunge. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, sink into your warrior two. Let's inhale to stupa. Exhale to goddess. Inhale back to stupa. Exhale to warrior two, facing the opposite direction. So we're facing the back of our mat now. And then we inhale to reverse or peaceful warrior. Okay, so we're trying to stretch in here. You can reach up with this hand and use that for a little extra stretch. Notice that my legs don't move at all. Very, very important, because almost every time I teach this, I see someone doing this. Okay, where the legs, the knee is going forward. It's the upper body that's going back. So we want to be able to isolate these different parts of our body. Let's do a flow. So we'll exhale back to warrior two. Inhale to stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, bottom of your push-up. Now, if you didn't feel warmed up enough for the arm balance earlier, maybe you do now. So you could do that Ekapada Kondyanasana now if you feel more warmed up for it. Let's do the other side. So feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, the knee high up on the arm. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale to the center. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Inhale and lunge. Exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sink into your warrior. Inhale, stupa. And exhale, goddess. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, reverse warrior. And inhale, exhale the warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. So we're going to hold this for a couple of breaths, just like we did on the other side. This is targeting your waist, what are called the obliques, and the intercostals between the ribs. So we're trying to create some space in there. Good, then we'll flow. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, goddess. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good, one more time. And we cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up, okay? Good. All right, so we're back in downward dog. Let's take another look at side plank, this time classic side plank, okay? So we bring our feet to touch. We roll toward the left hand and the edge of our left foot. Now, the only modification I'm going to give you here is if you feel unsteady, you can take that top foot forward. Otherwise, everything is stacked. Again, notice my hips are not up here. This is not a side plank. I don't know what this is, but it's not a side plank, okay? This is side plank. Straight body. All right, good. Exhale, come back to down dog. Take a breath. Side two, same thing. We bring our feet to touch, and then we rolling toward that right hand and the edge of our right foot. Notice also my head is lined up. So I'm not doing this with my head. I'm not doing that. I'm reaching out through the crown of my head. So everything is lined up straight, like I'm standing on the ground straight, except I'm at an angle actually compared to gravity. Good, exhale, come back to our downward dog. You can go straight back or vinyasa back, your choice. All right, from here, let's go ahead and inhale to our toes. We'll exhale to the front edge of our mat. Let's inhale all the way up to standing, and we exhale our hands to the heart center. Again, I might be repeating tree for the third time, or if I did that last time, it seemed kind of easy. Maybe it seemed like the right choice at the time, but then I got a little bit bored. Then maybe you try the Ardha Padma, the half lotus tree pose. My Sanskrit's leaving me right now. Okay, so if you were able to bind, great. If not, don't worry about it. You do not need to bind to do this. But if you can, go ahead. Might take you a second. The next step we want to take, if possible, if you're in tree, you're going to stay upright. Okay? But if you're not in tree, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, fold in half. Okay, so we're adding Paschimottanasana to this. So it's Ardha Padma Paschimottanasana. All right, stretching the back of that standing leg. Good. We inhale, try and come up as gracefully as we can, and we exhale and let it go. Side two, same thing. If I can bind, I bind. If not, I just hold the foot maybe with this hand. Same idea. Inhale, and I fold. Okay. So we get like 90, maybe 95, maybe even 99% of the same benefits. Now, for more challenge, you can grab the standing leg. So don't be afraid to do that, just to stand on your foot. You can even grab the big toe and pull yourself down. All right, inhale, let's come on up. And exhale, we release. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold, making your way back to the downward dog. All right, here we are back in our downward dog. Let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale to the arm. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, opposite arm. Kick it out, drop the back heel, and if you feel strong, inhale that left arm up. Fallen triangle. Good. Exhale that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back, and exhale as you lunge. Then inhale up into warrior two. Exhale, sink into the warrior two. Good. Now inhale, straighten the front knee, pivot your hands to the left wall, and exhale, reach, 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 reach. When you can no longer reach any further, and your left and right waists are both long and straight, you simply pivot your hands. Okay, my hand can be in the air. I can rest it on my leg. I can put it on a block. If you're low down, you may be able to grab the big toe and bind the big toe, but you want to keep the length and straightness in your sides. You can see I'm kind of rounding a bit here. So this is a little bit beyond where I would really want to be. I would want to be more up here, in all honesty. And I'll tell you what, I'm getting the same stretch and I'm keeping the integrity here. This is just so that someone will be impressed, right? So it looks cool, but the pose isn't as good. All right, inhale back up and exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of your push-up. So it's an important point. I could feel in my body, I was getting all the same stretches. I was working all the same muscles, except as I came further and grabbed the toe, I lost the integrity of the pose. It wasn't as good, even though it was deeper. Okay, other side. So feet touch. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, knee to arm. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, knee to arm. Kick it out, drop the back heel. Inhale, fallen triangle pose. So we just did extended triangle. That's the pose that this one is based on. And we exhale, bring that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back. and exhale and lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sink into your warrior two. Good. Inhale, let's straighten that knee. Pivot our hands and we exhale, reaching, 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 reaching as far as we can. And then once we can't go any further, we can pivot into our triangle. So again, what I was talking about on the other side was the integrity. What I'm talking about is this openness in the torso. I'm able to breathe very deeply. My shoulders are stacked, right? My left side and waist is long. I'm not collapsing into it, crushing that rib and rib cage. All right, from here we inhale, come back up and exhale, cartwheel to the bottom of our push-up, making your way back to the downward dog. Beautiful. Okay, so again, you might be doing that first version of side plank. You might be doing one of the modified versions. I don't know what's right for you. You have to decide that. If you're doing the classic version, let's come over into our classic side plank. And then we add a little difficulty by taking the top leg and bringing it into the tree pose position, okay? You can see me wobbling now, so I have less stability with just one leg, and that's good. That's going to challenge me a little more. My left shoulder is very much engaged, and I can feel it wobbling and shaking. It's getting a good workout here. It's exactly what I want. Good. Exhale, downward dog. We take a breath. Other side, feet touch. Rolling over. I come into classic side plank first. Again, this is not a side plank. I don't know what that is. All right, we take this leg, place it here. Now again, if you can't do it perfectly, if you lift your hips a little bit because you can't avoid it, that's okay. All right, this is about awareness and doing the best that we can. It's not about perfection. But part of my job is to point out these common errors. Okay, ways that we actually escape the work and the pose, and that's one of the ways that we do that. Good. Let's exhale, come back down, and make our way back to the downward dog. Hopefully tomorrow you're very sore right in here. That would be great if that were the case, because that would mean that those planks really worked your obliques. Okay, from here, we're moving right along, inhaling to our toes. We exhale to the front edge of our mat. Let's inhale up to standing, and we exhale our hands to the heart. Now again, this might be my, let's see, 4th time doing tree pose. And if I still haven't mastered it, good. If I have mastered it, maybe the 2nd or the 3rd time, then maybe I try the next step, which is putting the foot in front of the thigh. Okay, so I take my right foot and place it there, and maybe that's it. If that's easy, I can try folding over. Okay, if all of that so far has been within your wheelhouse, within what you can do, the next step is to try the toe stand. We inhale the arms up, and then as we exhale, we come down, bending that knee and trying to balance on the ball of the left foot. Okay, so hands to the heart. And again, if I lose my balance, that's good. My body is learning through that process. If you watch a baby learn to walk, it falls over and over and over and over again. As adults, we think we can hear someone tell us how to do something and learn how to do it just by listening to them. It doesn't work that way. All right, let's go ahead and inhale, come back up. And we exhale, release. Good, other side. So the point is, we want to make mistakes. It's called practice. Practice is a controlled environment where we make controlled mistakes. We make mistakes in a way that we can learn from them without permanently injuring or damaging ourselves. Good. Let's use that next inhale to come back up. Woo. Almost losing it. And exhale. Release. Good. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. And exhale, bottom your push-up. All right. Beautiful work, everybody. We are now in our final stretch here. Let's bring those feet to touch. We're going to inhale, right leg up and back. Let's bend that knee, open the hip, and maybe we flip the dog over. Okay, if you're doing that, try moving the free arm. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale as we lunge, and then we'll inhale to warrior two. Exhale, sink into it. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, extended triangle. Good. Bend the front knee, take a deep breath in, and exhale to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Lift that back leg up, flex the foot, point the toe, knee, and hip toward the left wall, stacking left hip and shoulder above the right. Okay, notice this leg is parallel with the ground. It's not down here. Lifting it up. Now from here, for more challenge, bend the back knee, reach back, grab the foot. That's called Chapasana. And if you want even more, lift the left hand up like you're going to shake someone's hand, or you can bring your hand to your heart center. Good. And then exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to down dog. Other side, feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. And then maybe we flip the dog over, maybe not. Some people just don't feel steady enough in the shoulder to do this. That's okay. We don't want to hurt our shoulder. Let's exhale and lunge. And we inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, sink into that pose. Inhale. And exhale, extended triangle pose. Good. Take a deep breath here. And with the next exhale, transition to the balancing half moon. Now, why is it called half moon? I have no clue. A lot of the yoga poses, I understand why it's called what it's called, but this one I have no idea. When you grab the foot, it's called Chapasana or sugar cane. And again, to challenge your balance more, you can lift that left hand. You can also try grabbing this ankle, but probably lifting the hand is a little more challenging. All right, I'm getting a little dizzy, a little lightheaded here. So let's exhale, bottom of the push-up, make our way back to downward dog. It's been a long day. I got up early to see my chiropractor, so I'm definitely feeling it. All right, again, we're in the home stretch here. We have one last side plank to do. Again, you may not be doing this one. You might be doing an earlier variation. That is fine. Let's bring our feet to touch, coming over into classic side plank as the setup. And then this is called starfish. I lift the right leg up. Some people can reach down and grab the foot and pull it up with their hand. If you can do that, great. There's no way for me to do that. Okay, it's never going to happen. All right, let's exhale back to our down dog. And we'll take it over to the other side. Again, I'm going to skip it. When you teach, it's not practicing, and when you practice, you shouldn't be teaching. So this is not my yoga practice. If I wanted to do yoga practice, I'd have to do that later on my own. I can't do it while I'm teaching you at the same time. So take a few breaths in your starfish or whatever variation of the side plank that you're doing. And then let's come back to down dog. And from down dog, we'll make our way to the front edge of our mat. And let's take one last look at our tree pose. So again, this might be the 5th time you're doing tree, and that is awesome. Totally cool. Otherwise, we take a look at doing an arm balance. Okay, now again, I might do any one of the variations. So anything that you are finding challenging, repeat that, try that again. Otherwise, we come down And then I place my shins in the back of my arms, look forward, and I lift the back leg up. I don't know if you can see that, but this is a lotus crow pose. Okay, so one leg is in lotus, this one, and then one leg is in crow pose. Okay? All right, inhale, come on up, and exhale, release the pose. If you're not sure what crow pose is, we did it a few weeks back. We'll do it again. Don't worry. It's a little more basic than this, but it's not really that different, to be honest. Once you know crow pose, and if you have the flexibility to put your legs in lotus, then you should be able to do this pose. Okay? So half lotus crow pose. All right. Taking a few breaths there. Again, I'm really feeling tired, so I'm not going to hold it. But if you can, you take a few breaths there. Good. Then we inhale all the way up and back, standing back bend, and exhale to the forward fold. Inhale, half lift, crow, handstand, exhale, bottom of the push-up. From there, let's come down into child pose. Okay, so we come right down into child. Let's take a few breaths in our child pose. Checking in on the breathing. Breathing into that back. Let's do a little side stretch here. We again worked our obliques quite intensely today. So with your arms extended out in front of you, take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, walk your hands over to the left till you feel a stretch in your right waist. May not be as intense as the reverse warrior that we did earlier or the half moon, the standing half moon. It's okay. Just a little bit of space, breathing into that space. We'll inhale back through center, and let's exhale, we take it over to the other side. Same thing. Good. Let's inhale back to center. And as we exhale, let's come to lay on our belly. We'll do a very simple back bend, but very powerful back bend. It's not particularly deep, but a lot of the deep back bends avoid using the muscles of the back. They use the muscles in the shoulders and the legs to go deeper, or the arms. This back bend is all back, and that's the beauty of it. So arms out at the sides, palms down, mouth, chin, or forehead on the mat, legs straight back behind you. Then as you inhale, lift everything up off the ground that you can. Arms, legs, head, so you can get the thighs up as well. Breathe. Keep the face and jaw soft and relaxed. Let's take one more breath here. And as we exhale, we come down out of the lotus pose. Locust, sorry. From there, press back to another child pose. And take a few breaths as you relax in the child. Again, breathe into your low back. Good. From here, let's go ahead and sit up, cross the ankles, and bring the legs out from underneath you, extending them out in front. As you inhale, extend your arms out in front as well. As you exhale, gradually roll back onto your back. Once you're on your back, bring your legs in and give them a nice squeeze. It might feel very nice to rock side to side, forward and back, or take circles with your knees, all of which you are welcome to do. Then let's extend our arms out like a T, keep our legs in, but we'll simply drop them to the left,
pulling us into a supine spinal twist called Jathara Parivartanasana. Look away from your knees, close your eyes, and let your breathing be natural now. Let gravity do all the work as you relax and feel the aliveness in your body. Okay, let's inhale our knees back through center, and we'll exhale them off to the other side. Remember to look away from your knees. Try closing your eyes. And just allow yourself to relax into the present. I'll tell you something that may not seem immediately self-evident, but deep relaxation and present moment awareness are the same thing. So when we really relax, we're present naturally. Good. We'll inhale our knees back to center. Let's give those legs a squeeze. You might want to grab the soles of your feet for a little happy baby. Extending the legs one at a time or both together. Rolling around on your back. And then when you're ready to relax, go ahead and unwind into Shavasana. Okay, I'm going to leave you in a moment here, but your practice isn't quite done. I'm going to recommend that you spend the next few minutes in Shavasana, 6 minutes to be exact. You can set a timer on your phone if you've got it handy. If you want to relax longer, that is good, recommended, good idea. But I wouldn't do shorter if you can avoid it. Once you're done relaxing, if you'd like to join me for the next class, that is at 6 o'clock. It's yin, very different than this. We're just going to be passively stretching the whole time. So it's not a workout like this class. If not, I'll hope to see you again next week. I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me, for trusting me to guide you through this practice. It's a real honor. And as I say almost every week, these are stressful times. People are losing work. People are losing loved ones. I've lost both. So I know the reality of the pandemic in the worst way. But yoga has given me tools for getting through it, not just surviving, but actually thriving. And so if you find you don't have the tools to do that, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to try and help you in any way that I can. Otherwise, thanks again. I'll hopefully see you in 15 minutes or perhaps next week. Namaste and see you next time.